Good morning to all of you watching us today from Westridge Elementary School in West Des Moines, Iowa. And my name is Ranger Dave. I am a park ranger at Channel Islands National Park. And today I'm actually coming to you, as Mr. Ballard was telling you, live from one of the 5 islands that makes up Channel Islands National Park. This island is called Anacapa Island, and I'm 14 miles across the ocean from the mainland in Ventura, California, which is near Los Angeles. And so because we are not only live, but we're live and interactive, I want to hear a big shout out hello from everybody participating today in Iowa. Hello, everybody. All right. Very enthusiastic hello, a great way to start the program. And you know, today it's not just you in Iowa and me plus my cameraman and crew here on Anacapa Island watching. We're the only ones who are going to be able to ask questions and answer questions, but we're also being joined by thousands of people who are watching us today on the internet. And I want to thank our partners, Ventura County Office of Education and Explore.org, for making this possible, because without them, we would not be able to speak with you live in real time and show you high definition video from across the Santa Barbara Channel out here on a very remote national park island. And so that leads me to my first question for you. And perhaps, Mr. Bell, let's take maybe 3 students. We'll take 3 different answers because there's more than one answer to my question. And my question is, why do we even have national parks?
And one student from Miss Haskins' class. Come on up. And then one from Miss Warden. Okay, so let's answer his question over here. You speak loudly. So why do we have national parks? Tell him your name and then your answer.
My name is Miles, and why do you have national parks?
No, he wants you to answer. Why
That's
do we
my
have
question to you.
parks?
So why do you think we have national parks?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I can
Go
hear
ahead,
you.
Miles, answer.
To let people see stuff.
Okay, he said to let people see oceans and stuff. All right,
That's right,
here's our
Miles.
next one.
Yeah.
My name is Susie, and I think we have national parks so people can see beautiful flowers and nature.
Okay, that's
She
good,
said to
Susie.
see
So
all
people can see
flowers
the
and nature.
ocean, beautiful flowers and nature. And how about our third answer?
My name is Bella, and I think why I have national parks is to let people see things what they just can't just in random places.
That's a very good answer too. So and all of you answered so that people can come and see these places. Here at Channel Islands, we have islands and ocean. Part of our park is the ocean around the islands. We do have, at certain times of year, beautiful plants and flowers, but this time of year in California, we get almost all of our rain in one time of the year, from really January through March, sometimes April. So we haven't had rain here in a long time, so the plants are somewhat dried up. They go dormant until the rains come so that they can withstand those dry seasons. But we do have very interesting plants, some of which in the entire world are only found right here on the Channel Islands. You won't find them anywhere else in the world, and that's because we're on an island. What is an island surrounded by? Does anyone have an answer? All of you just shout out. What are we surrounded by on an island? Water. And that can be an island in a lake, surrounded by lake water, or an island in the ocean, like we're on, surrounded by seawater. And so because anything that gets here has to swim across that ocean, or fly across it, or be transported. I came on a boat today. It can't get here. But once things do get here, they're stuck here and isolated, and they change over time because the environment here, the habitat here is different than on the mainland. We get more fog, more wind. It's a little bit different place, and so things become unique out here. And the habitat is another reason why we have national parks. Certainly, national parks are for people to come and enjoy, to see nature, to see grand places like the Channel Islands, but also we're here to protect the environment and the habitat. And so what do you think my job is as a park ranger? Because today we're going to take a look at what park rangers do to help achieve the goals of helping people come out to enjoy the islands and the national park safely, but also what do park rangers do, because there's more than one job for park rangers, to help protect the environment, to learn about the environment, and also to help protect the people and ourselves, because we're out in a remote area in wilderness. So I'm going to play a little game, and I'm going to ask my cameraman Dean to pan the camera down. We're going to show you that I have a backpack here, and you can see as we get to it, the backpack has our logo of the National Park Service, this arrowhead. If you've been to other national parks, you'll see that as well. There are many national parks. And in my backpack, I have some tools that a ranger would use that help me and help any ranger to do their job. So we're going to play a game called Stump Ranger Dave. So I'll let you come up one at a time. You can ask questions or make guesses, I should say, as to what kind of tools and items and things a ranger would use to do their job, and I'll see if I have something like that, because if I'm a good ranger, I should have all of this in my backpack. And if you find something that stumps Ranger Dave, I'm going to go out and get it tonight so that I'll have it with me so I can do my job. So let's start, and Mr. Ballot, let's bring some of the kids up, and I'll see if I have those ranger tools and tell you how we use them. So think in a wide range of areas of what a ranger might do to protect visitors, island habitat, ourselves, to help people enjoy the place.
Tell him something that he might need in his backpack to explore the parks.
Food.
Food.
To feed the animals.
Okay. You know what? We actually don't feed the animals in a national park because this is a natural area. In zoos, the animals have to be fed because they can't get their own food. But in a national park, we want the animals to live in their natural way and find their own food. And so we don't have food for the animals, but we do carry food for ourselves. And wow, you stumped Ranger Dave on the first try. I actually don't have my food in this backpack. I have a little lunchbox. And we have our support person, Josh, bring my lunchbox over here. I'll show you that I do have food. So it's not really a stumping because we need to eat. But how would we use food if we were, let's say, trying to help or protect a visitor?
Why would they need food to help or protect a visitor?
In case they're starving?
He said in case they're starving.
In case they're starving. Ranger Josh isn't finding my backpack, my lunchbox. I might have left it in the other part of the island. I guess I'm going to be hungry today. We'll go without that, Josh. So, sure, he'll bring his lunchbox. So, we might come across someone who's lost in the wilderness. It happens sometimes. People have the best intentions, but they get lost. And so if a ranger comes across them, if that person hasn't eaten in days and is starving, then we'll actually give them some of our food. Thank you, Ranger Josh. So here's food. I actually have a similar lunchbox, and I will share this with a starving visitor if I come across them. And here, because we're on an island, sometimes people will be out here, and if the ocean gets too rough, what if they got stuck here? So the National Park Service, we have a supply of food rations called Meals Ready to Eat, or MREs, which is like what the military uses or what is being handed out to help the hurricane victims in the Caribbean and Texas and Louisiana and the earthquake victims in Mexico, so we do prepare for that. That's one way we protect the visitors. So that was a really good question. Okay, do we have another guess as to a tool that I would use?
Do. All right, turn around, speak into this. Tell him something you think he might have in his backpack.
You cut out, the audio cut out right as she said it, so one more time.
Fish.
Fish? Oh, there's one right here. Mr. Ballard, can you... I couldn't quite hear the answer.
Ranger Dave, he said fish.
Oh, fish. Okay. Well, there are fish out here in the ocean, but I don't usually carry them with me. So, but they're here, but they're not necessarily a tool that I use. So, anybody else know what's in my backpack? What kind of tools do I use to do my job?
Okay, we got another friend. All right, tell him. Say it loud.
A flashlight.
A flashlight. Let's see if I have a flashlight, because I might work at night too sometimes, and so I have a flashlight. And this is a very important tool. If it's dark and I need to find my way around or see things, got a flashlight. Okay, what other tools?
All right, he's walking up.
Okay.
Say it loudly.
Testing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, so keep my eye.
Do you actually help the animals every time they get stuck? Or no? Or like...
No, there's no questions. To know if you have something to an animal that might.
Well,
be
I'll take it.
stuck.
I actually, Mr. Ballack, I'll take that one on, because yes, we do help the animals. And so, in fact, why don't let's pan down for a second, and we're going to show you those sea lions again, and because they're fun to look at. I'm challenging my cameraman, Ranger Dean, because I want him to earn his pay today. So, okay. We not only help people, but remember the part where we help protect habitat? It's not just the habitat we protect, but we also protect the things that live in the habitat, the plants and the animals. So seals and sea lions that you see here, these are mostly sea lions. We help protect them by studying them. We have researchers who are biologists who every year will go into the areas where the seals and sea lions are, and they'll count them, and they'll assess the health of the seals and sea lions and their populations. And why do you think we do that? Why do we care or try to monitor or learn about the animals?
Anybody want to answer this question? Why do you think Ranger Dave and the other park rangers care for the animals? All right, come on. Say your name and answer this question.
Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Answer this question.
You can keep the environment healthy and so people can enjoy the place?
Right. We keep the environment healthy so people can enjoy it. People wouldn't want to come here as much if it wasn't a healthy environment. But also, we want those animals to be able to survive, because these are the wild areas. These are the places they have as their home. And those seals and sea lions, most of them breed here. This is where they have their babies. So this is a really important place. And there are a lot of seals and sea lions around the Channel Islands, almost 250,000 of them. Those are just a few you're seeing down there. And so it's really important that we know how they're doing, because this is really where they come from. I'm holding, this was what was in my backpack. Anybody know what this is? Does anybody have a guess? And I know it's a metal box.
Answer. Say it loud.
I think it is part of a mailbox.
It looks like a mailbox. It opens like a mailbox, but it opens on both ends. And this is actually a mouse trap, but not the kind you use if you have a mouse in your house and you're trying to get rid of it. This is a live trap, and so we'll put bait in there. And there are mice on Anacapa Island. In fact, they're the only land mammals on this whole island, because remember, it's hard to get here. And so sometimes we'll trap some of the mice so that we can study them and see if they're healthy or not, and learn about how the mice are doing here. Because if the Anacapa deer mouse, the kind that lives here, were to become extinct, or were to disappear from this island, they would become extinct. So this is part of protecting the wildlife and the habitat. And so some rangers that are biologists will have things like these mouse traps in their backpack. Okay, so you guys are doing pretty well so far. Let's see if we have anything more. And there's something I'm going to probably show you as well if nobody asks. But
something you think you might have.
Next guess.
Do you have Kleenexes?
Kleenexes. That would be a good thing to have. Some things I carry on me. So I have a paper towel, might need to wipe up a mess. And then I have, along the same lines, in my pocket, I carry more paper towels, trash bags, plastic gloves in case there's something icky to pick up or someone has a medical emergency. So I carry a lot of stuff with me. Some of it's not in my backpack. Some of it's in my pockets. Why would I need something to help out if there's a medical emergency? And does anyone think about what else I might have in my backpack to help people who are having a medical problem?
To have lunch for you and lunch for the animals.
Oh, he already shared that. Do you think there's
We'd have
anything in
lunch.
his backpack?
What would I have to help a person who's having a medical problem?
What do your teachers carry with you at recess and on field trips in case someone gets hurt?
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids, yeah, and a whole first aid kit. So rangers have to know and do a lot of different things, and we have to be ready for the unexpected. So if I find someone who's hurt, I'm actually trained in emergency medical response, and I have a small first aid kit that I carry with me everywhere I go. And so I can help people if I come across them. And also on the island, I have a lot of first aid stuff in order to do full rescues of almost any situation. What do you think we would do if somebody had a really serious medical situation on this island? Remember how it's hard to get here, it takes a long time by boat. How would you leave this island in an emergency after the ranger helps stabilize you if you needed to? Any guesses?
Want to answer this question? What would happen if there was a medical emergency on the island and they needed to help somebody get off the island to go to the hospital? Somebody just, yes, Mr. March, tell me. Yes. How might they get there quickly? So here we have ambulances that could come and help. Anybody know how it might happen on an island? Yes, sweetie, back there in the blue shirt. Okay, now it can't get across water. It's got to go from the mainland to the island.
Yeah.
It's
a boat. Took us 1 hour to get here on a boat today. Is there a quicker way?
No. Yes, in the yellow shirt, sweetie. Can't go by land. Water takes too long. They said a plane.
Airplanes and helicopters. Anacapa's a little island. We don't have an airstrip here, but a helicopter would come out. And think about this. If you had a medical emergency, an ambulance would be there within probably 3 to 4 minutes. Out here, because we're remote, the time it takes to get a helicopter out here, it could be 30 minutes, an hour. Sometimes we can't even get a helicopter here. It's too foggy or the weather's not right. And so people can be stranded out here a long time. So having the right first aid equipment is important. But, you know, I'm not only here to protect visitors, but I need to protect myself because I work in this wilderness. I'm an hour away from help by helicopter. I can't get help right away. And so what kind of things would a ranger use? Same things you might use if you go hiking or camping. What would I need to protect myself? Any guesses to that?
I was going to say like a jacket or stuff.
Yep, film that.
That's right.
A jacket.
A jacket. I need clothes. It's warm today, so I'm not wearing a jacket, but I have one with me. It's not in this backpack. It's actually sitting with our main gear, but I do carry it in my backpack. But also, I have things like sunscreen. And I put sunscreen on today. If my dermatologist is watching, I was good. And so I carry this with me. I put it on a lot. What would I need maybe to protect my eyes from the bright sun? Anyone have a guess?
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen. I'm not putting this in my eyes, though, but it does start with sun. What do you wear to protect your eyes when it's bright out?
She said sunglasses.
Sunglasses, yeah. So, and I think I have my sunglasses in here. I hope I brought them. Oh, yeah, here they are. I got sunglasses. There we go. I'm protecting my eyes. Now, you know, kids, that's just a little bit of a joke. Ranger Dave has kind of a funny sense of humor. But you know these aren't my real sunglasses, right? Yeah. My real ones are much bigger and more colorful. So I'm trying to protect myself. I'm trying to protect people, the animals, the habitat. And let's see if we maybe have one more guess as to something that I would be carrying. And then we're going to sort of segue a little bit into you and your futures.
Ranger Dave, our friend Nadal, would like to know if rangers have any superpowers or things like Superman.
Superpowers like Superman. If I did, I'd probably keep them a secret. So, no, I don't have superpowers, but you know what? That's a really good way to end this segment of the program. Rangers don't have superpowers. We're just people, but we're trained, and so maybe our superpower is being trained, highly trained in the things we need to know, like medical first aid, being trained to learn and know about the wildlife here, being trained into being able to help people, because that's a superpower too. So we have field guides. If someone says, hey, what's that bird? I don't know everything, so I can look it up for them. Or maybe somebody says, I'm lost, or I want to go to a certain place, and I will pull out a map that has all the locations, and I have all kinds of different maps. Some are more detailed, some are less, and so I can help them find their way or help them to get the most enjoyment out of their visit. So maybe we do have superpowers, but they're really just the same kind of thing that anybody who trains and learns whatever their job is, those are superpowers we can all have. So the doll asked a really good transitional question. And so now that we've talked about some of the things a ranger does and we've seen some of the tools we use, do you guys think that being a park ranger is an important job? We can answer this as a group. Does anybody in our audience, do any of the students, do you think you might one day, now that you've learned a little bit more about being a park ranger, that you might want to be a park ranger? Yeah. Good. I think it's a great job. I'm at work today. I got to ride on a boat. I got to come on an island, and I got to share it with all of you. And a lot of people come here and see the island, but not everybody can. We're kind of far from Iowa. You can't just come out here for your, let's see, 1:15 class segment. It's 11:15 here. And we're able, through our technology, to have you come visit, but in a different way. But there are national parks near you. There are state parks near you. There are city parks and county parks and all kinds of protected areas, and all of them will use rangers. And you don't have to necessarily wait until you finish school and become an adult to become a ranger, because all the national parks have something called the Junior Ranger Program. And so whenever you visit a national park, you can ask them. We all have little booklets, and the books have like really fun activities and things that you can do that help you to, in a fun way, that one's stapled together, to learn about the national park and gain knowledge. And then when you're done with the book, we actually do a swearing in, just like we do. We take an oath and we get our job, and you get a badge. looks very close to my badge. There's one big difference between being a junior ranger and being an old person ranger, and that's that one of the things I have to do is clean the bathrooms and the outhouses, and you won't have to do that. But you know what? Oh, I know. Even the most perfect job has sort of a downside sometimes, and it's a good trade-off. It's well worth it. And so it's a great job, but it's not the only job in the world. But maybe today we've given you a little bit of a window into what rangers do and a little bit of a view of Channel Islands National Park. And some of you, I'll bet, will end up being park rangers one day. Now, I'm going to close with one last question, and you can shout out the answer as a group. And that question is, who does Anacapa Island, Channel Islands National Park, and all of the national parks, who do these places belong to? And I heard someone say animals, I heard some people say us, I heard a lot of different answers, and certainly I'll agree. A lot of animals,
They said everyone.
a lot of answers there. And I'll agree, the animals, this place belongs to the wildlife, the plants and the animals that live here. This is their home. And it also belongs to you. And it belongs to me. And it belongs to Ranger Dean, my cameraman, and Ranger Josh, who brought his lunchbox. I think he's eating lunch right now. He's getting an early start. And so national parks belong to all of us. And that's why it's important that not only rangers help take care of national parks, but all of you should do your part as well. And you can do that when you're visiting a park by being sure you don't drop any trash by accident, or that you don't go in areas that are areas we're not supposed to walk on because the plants are fragile. I would never walk down on that beach where those sea lions are because it would disturb them. So we can all take care of our national parks. And the other way that you can take care of your national parks, our national parks, is to go and visit them.